everyone. This is your one and only the queen of Global Sundays, Miss Classic. You know me by the name of Bongiwe Msomi in Durban. I'm in South Africa in the area called Durban. We're here today to welcome our host, which is Mr. Ken Laden in USA. And also we have David Pike there far in Australia. And we also have our lovely guest from the Durban Playhouse as we're talking today, right now. I'm telling you, this is the day you'll never regret. We have Mr. Themba Mkhize. We also have Mr. Afrika Mkhize, which is its son and the father. We have also our beautiful lady there by the name of Nokukhanya Dlamini. We're going to stay tuned here, and I welcome all the viewers at home who are tuning in right now. Please just share the page. We are here to hear more about the upcoming show that is happening this weekend at the Durban Playhouse. Over to you, Mr. Laden.
Thank you, Miss Classic, our queen, and welcome to this very special edition of the Global Sunday. I would like to introduce to our regular viewers Mr. David Pike, who is new on the panel today. This is his first time. David is a jazz trumpet player, but also a classical composer. He is from in Australia, and I've worked with him for many years. He has composed a ballet for us, and he is also the music director internationally for our educational program. David, would you like to say hi?
Yeah, greetings. We say hello and good day in Australia to all of you. It's really a pleasure to meet the guests tonight, and it's exciting to revisit Durban and those areas of South Africa that I visited some 20 years ago. So I'll be very keen to see how we go.
Wonderful. So Miss Classic, where are our guests? Bring them to us, please.
We welcome you, Mr. Themba Mkhize and Mr. Afrika Mkhize, and also you, sweetie, beautiful lady who sings very nice, which is Nokukhanya Dlamini. Welcome at our home of the Global Sunday TV.
Thank you for having us. It's good to be here.
You know, one of the things that is very, very important and exciting is May is Africa Month. And I know that you gentlemen are very keen to spread all of the wonderful talent from Africa, and also the fact, you know, Africa is where we all came from originally. So it is home for every human being. Themba, what would you like to say to celebrate Africa Month?
Oh, we welcome the opportunity to celebrate the Africa Month, but then the question is what happens in April, or what happens in after May, you know, and we would like, you know, to have all the months in the year, you know, celebrated with Africa, especially for the arts, you know, celebrate the African arts, you know. Of course, we've learned a lot from, you know, music from different parts of the world, but you know, we also take note that, you know, African music, you know, has played the second fiddle, you know, compared to the other, you know, music from the rest of the world, and we appeal to the fans out there to go out there and support African music.
We have a similar problem in America. You know, we have February is our African American celebration month. It's the shortest month, and again, what happens in January, what happens in March? You're absolutely right. You know, we have a school in Durban, the Margot Fontein Secondary School, where we have our Arts Academy program, and they have put out a calendar for all year, and we are doing everything we can globally to promote the arts in Africa. Margot Fontein said that the next golden age in performing arts will come from Africa, from the incredible music, drama, storytelling traditions of Africa. So yes, it's very important to get that out. Tell us a little bit about your music that you're going to be playing tomorrow, and of course that everybody already knows you for.
Well, we're going to stay here in the great continent of Africa, and we're going to play, compositions from great South African composers and artists like the late David Mkhize, a piano player who came from this city of Durban, and music from Abdullah Ibrahim, and of course, we ourselves being composers, we're going to play, music from our, respective albums, and also we're going to do the music. And I had the pleasure of producing Nokukhanya's album back in 2005. So we're going to, visit, that album as well.
Excellent. And now, I'm going to get your name wrong.
Khanya.
Kanya. I can say. I am limited, but I am learning Zulu. Longani is teaching me Zulu because we have a school there. I have to speak the language. So talk about your experience with this as a singer. Often, people identify so strongly with the singer, but of course in jazz, all the musicians shine. But what is your experience with the Africa Month and promoting African music?
For me, it's sad, firstly, that we only have to celebrate our music during this month, because most of the time, all over the world, during other months, they play commercial music. It's sad. For me, that I don't know how we can change that we can, like, each and every day of our lives, we can hear our music on radio, and also our kids need to know their culture, where we are coming from. They need to understand their heritage. So for me, it hasn't been a good experience that we are only celebrating during this month.
Yes, I understand that. And also that distinction between fine art performance and commercial performance. It's a very big distinction, and you're right. You can see, I'm in the ballet world. When do you see ballet? Only if you go to the theater. It's never on the television. It's never, they don't, in the music videos, if they do include ballet, it's a sort of a mockery of the ballet instead of actually performing it. So I do understand your quest.
Yeah.
What other questions do we have from our other panelists? I'd love to hear your questions.
Yes. Sis Nokukhanya, I will leave ukhabazela kancane with ukhabazela omncane. I just want to know how is partnering with Ubabu Ukhabazela Mkhize Kamavofu has impacted you as you were around him during this time when you were doing your rehearsals. And I'm sure it's not only now, you've been together before even the preparation of this show. That is why you were honored to take part on this production that is taking place tomorrow. So I want to know what impact did Ubaba Ukhabazela? I know, I respect, I honor Ubaba Mkhize so much. So what impact did he bring in you during his music as you were practicing?
I think for me, Nane, firstly, he's an amazing father, one, as a person. Two, he's a great musician. And what I love about Mr Themba is that he gives you a chance to shine on your own. And he's a great teacher. He's a great listener. He's cool. He's the coolest. He's an all-rounder for me, because I know a lot of people, they envy to work with him. Some are scared to work with him. So I can say to myself that I'm one of the luckiest people. I'm blessed, because when I was growing up, I used to listen to the music that he composed, that he was playing. I remember a synth solo that he played on Bayete's song, Shosholoza. Then I used to sing that solo, not knowing that one day I will be able to be working with the greatest, So for me, it is a blessing. It is an honor. You know,
Yes.
sometimes I even forget when we're doing rehearsals that it's my time to come in. I'm in awe. I will never stop being in awe with this legendary human being who is so humble at the very same time.
Mhm, mhm. Thank you so much. I'll hand it over to Mr. David for more. And before I can go through to Mr. Pike there, I just want to let the viewers at home to hashtag fill up the playhouse. Hashtag fill up the playhouse. We're starting to promote the show, and I want everyone at home to buy the tickets. If we've bought for yourself, buy for your sister, buy for your friends. We've been at the lockdown for quite a long time. We need to get out there. All the protocols are observed down here at the Durban Playhouse. So please get the tickets. It's still on. Okay, over to you, Mr. David Pike.
Yes, hi. Themba, in particular to yourself, many years ago, I played at the Varsity in Durban. It was the college there that was the jazz department run by Darius Brubeck. And I had to sit in, they called me in to sit in with an African jazz group, Bonami Mumbo Quartet, probably a student group, I'm sure. But nevertheless, it was my first taste of incorporating the African traditional rhythms into a jazz. And reading up on you recently, I think there was a project you did, Tales from the South. They were expressing about how you are taking the traditional African music and you're blending it with modern styles of jazz. So I really thought that was a very wonderful hybrid and a way forward in jazz. Do you see that the flavors that are coming now from the work that you and other artists like you are doing is bringing forth new genres, even in the jazz idiom?
Yeah, well, first of all, well, jazz is a universal language, you know. But as you can hear me now speaking my English with a thick Zulu accent, what one is trying to do here is infuse that, you know. And who are we as Africans? We also have, you know, a contribution to make to this great art form, which is jazz. But what is it? You know, so what I try to do is to draw from our, you know, indigenous music and, you know, traditional styles, and, you know, and infuse it, you know, in my compositions and music as well.
Thank you. So yeah, without laboring too much on that, but you're also with your composition work, do you find that formalizes some of the composition work with larger orchestrations? It's a different, a slightly different approach you're applying to the smaller ensemble work that you create?
Well, yeah, you know, I'm a self-taught, you know, arranger, so I try out things, you know, and whatever it is that comes out, and I hope, you know, the audience does enjoy it. But, you know, I don't necessarily use certain techniques, you know. I just put down what is playing in my head, you know, so to speak.
So obviously you've absorbed a lot from your early childhood, all the sounds of the types of music you've been listening to for a long time, I suppose.
Yeah, we know we're lucky, you know. We have here what is known as you know, maybe one of the biggest radio stations. You know, I think it's the second biggest radio station in the world. It's called Ukhozi FM. It used to be Radio Zulu, and back in the day, you know, the authorities were trying to get the listeners, you know, to listen more to indigenous music. Not because the intention was to, you know, to promote indigenous music, but they were trying to avoid, because back then there was a radio station which was broadcasting from Mozambique, which is now Maputo, called Radio Freedom. So in trying to get, you know, the Black people to not listen to that, they will try and promote more indigenous music. But little did they know that they were actually promoting groups, in fact, groups like Lady Smith Black Mambazo, you know, the first recordings were done here in Devon, you know, in the studio here in the radio station, same radio station. And this is how they were discovered. So, so I'm lucky, you know, that I grew up listening to those sounds and to the late Princess Makoko, who used to play a traditional, well, guitar-like instrument. What do they call this? A bow called Umakwean, and singing songs, pre-colonial sounds of Amahu. And I'm lucky to have been exposed to those different sounds. And of course, Mpakana, we grew up with Mpakana, the songs of Makhatini and the Maotela Queens, and jazz, people like Abdullah Ibrahim, you know. So I think I'm lucky to have been exposed to, you know, a portfolio of different sounds.
Yeah, thank you. And
I was going to say, it must have been incredible, Afrika, for you growing up in the world of music, in the high refined world of music that you grew up in. What was your road like from being a child around the music into being another member of the musical family?
Yeah. As a child, I thought that was pretty normal. I thought all children were going through the same experience. It's only when I was older I realized that okay, I was very lucky because my father being a musician, there were different styles of music. I mean, I grew up listening to Bakanga, listening to Dexter Gordon at the same time, listening to Maskandi guitar at the same time, listening to, say, Take Six, a cappella groups like Take Six, and Lady Black Smith Mambazo at the same time. So I've always had this eclectic feeling about music. I love music more than styles, if you know what I mean. And I relate to music more than, you know, I could listen to something from Cuba and then listen to something from Durban, you know, in the next moment. So I think that's probably something that I picked up from home, because we had a lot of vinyls and lots of cassettes and lots of empty cassettes to make copies. So that's how I grew up. You know.
Partner Brian.
You know, one of the things that is common for all artists, I believe, is our interest in the next generation, the coming up ones. You know, you had said earlier about working and every musician getting their chance. You know, within the structure of jazz, it is one of the most egalitarian community. You know, the group it's not a group that loses its identity. It's a group of very identifiable individuals that come together, which is just, as a metaphor, it's such an example for the human race. At any rate, I'm dedicated my whole life to education. First, it was my own, and then it was making sure that the next generation is brought up with full information and permission and empowerment to make their own statements, to bring that new blood into the living art form that we do. What would you like to say about that? What do you have what do you think is the best way for that to happen?
Well, talking about music education, you know, you cannot go to any music institution today and study, let's say, South African guitar, for instance, Maskandi, which is, you know, beautiful and unique to this country. You know, you cannot go to a university and study, you know, music from the great Smith Black Mambazo, you know, and but hey, for a country that, you know, gained its freedom in 1994, I think we have a lot to do, you know, in trying to develop, you know, studies that is going to benefit the African child, you know, so that our children can study jazz, classical music, but also study African music in Africa with African musicians, from the African musicians. So, well, what we're trying to do now, me and my son, is to put together such a meal, which is a cappella style you was talking about. We're trying to put together songbooks so that in future we'll have no excuse not to learn or at least to practice this music. I think as a country, in fact, our Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, I don't know how these two meet, but anyway, our Department of Sports, Arts and Culture has got a lot of work to see to it that, at least one day, the African child can go to an African institution and learn African music.
Khanya, would you like to say something on that subject, being also a child that's brought up, that's now a professional and speaking toward education?
No, I think for me, as I've said, the first seed that was planted, it was my father, because he was playing those vinyls too. So the seed was planted by my father. He's not even a musician, So for me, that's how it was done. And I grew up listening to different music, even Iskatamia. There was a group called what is it, Zulu Home Tiger, something like that. That's the type of music that I used to listen to. And funny enough, my uncle used to work Nabo at Clover. There was a company that was called Clover. So they used to sometimes come to our home and I'd be like, that man, I know him. So for me, and Amaswazemvelo, that's the type of music that I grew up listening to. And about Johnny Dimba, even about Brenda Fassie, they came later in life. About Mamle, that's the type of music that I grew up to, So for me, the seed was planted when I was young. And I only discovered when I was older that I can sing. Maybe I was in high school.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned Mamle Tambuli, because she's one of the people that I grew up listening to. My uncle used to play that CD the whole week, the whole month, and he never got tired of it. You'll hear the boom, 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 da, 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 boom, 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 boom. Yeah, so so I think also we have something in common, because I grew up listening to those jazz music, and I was inspired by it, by just listening. And then I became a jazz musician through, I started at the Playhouse actually, where I started when I was 15 at the Playhouse. I'm the seed of the Playhouse company. I started doing musical shows there, and I grew up there. You will even think I'm working there, but no, we're just family. I'm family with the Playhouse forever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So now I'm in the Playhouse Chorale, but I'm working for Inanda 88.4 FM radio as a radio presenter there. But I am pushing my music. This is why I feel like you are really one of the most luckiest artists on earth to be honored to share the stage with Mr. Themba Mkhize and his son, Mr. Afrika. Because we always like, oh my God, I wonder if I will. But anyway, what I wanted to ask, maybe the question can go to Mr. Afrika, is that what is the definition of the jazz to the musicians or people that are listening at home right now? I want to know the definition of the jazz music that you are doing.
To define, that's a very difficult one for me. And I know a lot of people, I have many friends in the United States, African-American friends who hate that word, but I define jazz, if I would have to, it's spontaneous improvisation. You have a skeleton, which is a melody, and then you improvise on top on top of the skeleton. So you have a skeleton and you put the flesh and you put, you put the cells and you put,
ornaments.
but obviously there is a structure, but you have to follow the structure, but you are improvising. And that's the best way I can define it. But in this particular show, it's interesting because we are trying to use our own South African melodies, our own South African rhythms, and so on. So we're really trying to push for that African feel, but it is still as spontaneous as it can be, because my father enjoys improvising. I could not imagine my life without improvising.
Yeah.
That's how I would explain the definition of jazz. Is my life would not exist without the art of improvisation. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Over
you.
to you, Mr. David.
It's wonderful to meet all of you, as I said tonight. I'd love, after the COVID pandemic goes away, hopefully, and travel resumes, that you people could come over to Australia and bring us up to speed with new trends in jazz music, because we have the strong traditional traditions of a lot of it coming from America, but it'd be lovely to see these new hybrids coming through. And also, a final point is in films, if you can keep working with your films and put the music with the films, which is a very powerful medium to showcase what you do, that would be wonderful.
And what about the show tomorrow? What do we have in store for us tomorrow? It's a big festival. It's a very exciting time.
Yes. Hashtag fill up the playhouse. You can hear more, but tomorrow, I can't wait.
Yeah, well, we can't wait too. We're all looking forward to it. And it's the first time we do this father and son gig, so we're all looking forward to it. We can't wait.
What exactly is happening? How can they get tickets, and what show is it? It's a whole festival, so there are lots of things going on. Where are you placed in the festival? In other words, for the public, so that they can plan their day and they can go ahead and book their tickets.
The tickets are 100 rands, and they can buy them at web tickets. Yeah, that's where they can get them. They're 100 rands and they're available at web tickets.
I got mine already.
Okay.
Yay! Yes,
I'm sorry, Ken, I didn't hear the last question.
The last question was, what, in terms of the content, what is being presented at this festival that the public will find very interesting, when they get their tickets, what will they be seeing?
You know what? Without giving any further details, they must just come watch the show. They'll be surprised. Even myself, when we're rehearsing, there were moments where I'm supposed to start singing, and looking at Afrika, looking at Themba Mkhize. They're like, I think the combination of the two, people, they need to come and experience it. And me as a little spice in the whole band.
The cherry on top.
Okay, thank you. I'm just saying, there's a beautiful song called Caution. It's a beautiful mix of best composed music in South Africa. So I just think they must just come without us giving any further details. They must just come and experience Themba Mkhize with the Afrika Mkhize, Nokukhanya with the Sydney Mavundla with Dali on bass, and Ulelo on drums. It's a beautiful meal that has been prepared for audiences.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you for keeping the jazz idiom fresh, alive, and on the cutting edge, and also with your orchestrations, and all the best for tomorrow night. I'm sure it's going to be fabulous. I just can't be there, but I know it's going to be a fabulous show, so well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and also, this is not a show, the father and son, not a show type of thing. We have great musicians, like the drummer Nokukhanya, as I said, there, Mazibuko, Tanisu, Lazi, Sigma Vundla, and Mtunzi Mvubu. These are all great South African jazz musicians, you know, and this is really not about us, but you know, the family of Nokukhanya. It's about the whole crew of these great, crazy musicians.
Thank you.
It's wonderful. I wish I were be able to be there. And thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll
Thank
be your
you.
eyes.
Thank you.
I'll be your eyes, the Global Sunday eyes. I'm here in the Devon. And thank you to all the viewers at home that were tuning in today. And I hope you're getting those tickets. Hashtag filling up the Playhouse. Hashtag fill up the Playhouse, everyone, right now. And I would like to thank especially the CEO of the Devon Playhouse for hosting the show and for keeping us going in Devon, South Africa, in Devon. And also to thank our lovely guest for today and my crew there in USA, and Mr. Ken Ladden and Mr. David Pike, and also to our wonderful, wonderful, fabulous producer, Mr. Lungani Kwala, for taking a dive and grabbing us with the warm hands when Pilile was waving on us. So thank you so much, and the crew, all the crews involved. I send a shout out to everyone. Have faith, lift your head up, and never give up. Boo, 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 boo. Thank you so much, Kabazela. All the best for tomorrow. I will see you there.
Thank you.
Thank you.